Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building today, promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey and you need armed guards or unarmed guards, just give me a call on my business line, which is 973-558-4659. Today I got a special guest. He go by the name of Anton Daniels. I call him a legend in the YouTube scene in the black sector. What up, Anton, man? Let the people know who you are. Give them the MO, man. Talk to me.
Honestly, I just kind of look at myself as a regular guy that's been able to accomplish some extraordinary things. Um, I don't know, content creator, just husband, father first. And then in addition to that, I just like to make sure that I add value into people's lives. I'm God fearing, but I'm unapologetic with my views. And then more importantly, I'm an equal accountability partner, meaning that anybody and everybody can get it, whether you're a woman, man, tall, small, whatever it is. But I also give credit where credit is due, also. So I've been in the content game for a while. And I like to just add value by living my life like an open book and using that as an example of what I would advocate for people to be. You know what I'm saying?
Word out. I think that's incredible, man. We about the same age, man. So my first
Are
question
we?
for you, man, I'm 39, man. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Okay. All right. Life get better at 40, 40 plus.
Word out, word out. We age like wine, you heard? But
Yeah.
my first question for you is like, yo, back in the day, we ain't
Hmm.
come up in the whole social media scene like this. I mean,
Hmm.
so how did you end up becoming a content creator, and did you foresee the YouTube scene blowing up like this?
Absolutely. I mean, it was the thing that YouTube for me was a 10-year plan. Like a lot of people, I think today they focus more on, I want to hurry up and blow up. I want to hurry up and do this or whatever. YouTube was, because I always tell people, even from a business perspective, have that three-tier system that you operating on. The first tier is you want to do the thing that generates the revenue that allows for you to be able to take care of yourself right now. You got to put, food in the refrigerator, pay your rent. You got to take care of business. And so you want to make as much money as you can doing that. The second tier thing is your hustle, right? But that may be the thing that gets you popping 3 to 5 years from now, right? That's the thing that gets you money as far as maybe your business or the thing that you may not necessarily be making money on, or maybe a hobby or something like that that you're doing. And so you run it up for that 3 to 5 year mark. And then you got to have that 10-year view, right? The 10-year view, it could be your real estate game. It could be this application that you build in. It could be the content creation that you're doing. But it takes time in order to get the traction, right? But once you start to get the traction, then it takes off, right? And so YouTube was always something that, I got into it because I wanted to use it in order to promote myself from a corporate perspective and give me more visibility in order to be able to market myself and get a leg up on my promotions and going into different industries. And then also it was a way for me to be able to document my life, right? And so because it was a 10-year view, I wasn't doing the clout chasing stuff, right? I was just being authentically me. I was sharing what my life is, what my interests were, my family, the journey, the whole 9 yards. And so I'm kind of an OG because I was never focused on blowing up. I was always focused on being, setting a core, and for this to be a 10 to 15-year thing. And so what you see now happening is really the manifestation of it, right? So I always seen it because I knew that, marketing and creating visibility for yourself, you are your brand. And I would tell people, I would even tell people in my own family, my church and all that, I'm like, yo, we got to get in this game. We got to do it. And they didn't believe in it and they laughed at me. But it's a little bit different now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've always seen it. And even now, I'm not even looking at content creation right now. I'm looking at a lot of other things that's going to allow for me to really be able to leverage what's happening in the future 10 years from now. I'm always looking 10 years down the road. I'm never looking at what my current situation is today.
Man, that's incredible, man. I like
Yeah.
that, man. Now you and JR, I know y'all came up together. So when
Mhm.
did y'all when did y'all realize that YouTube was going to be an incredible passive income?
I was already doing my thing. If you look at my arc and my trajectory, I've been doing this for 7, 8, 9 years. So I was already at like 50, 60,000 subscribers. And I was doing videos as it relates to my lifestyle. So I was building a restaurant. I had bought a Jeep. I had a Mustang. I had a Cadillac. I had a bunch of different cars and stuff. And JR started following my journey, and he reached out to me on Instagram. And so we kind of connected offline based off of him following what it was that I was doing on my YouTube channel, on the Anton Daniels channel. And then he invited me over because he had shot like 1 or 2 episodes where it was just like him and 2 other guys sitting across from each other at the table, and it wanted to be in B Nix and this other guy. And so he invited me over into this Facebook group where he was trying to put together this podcast, which was basically going, turning out to be Lapeef Let's Talk. And he was like, "Hey man, can you come on or whatever? Because I like your stuff. I love what it is that you're doing or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come on and turn it up, but it's going to be different than what you think it's going to be." And he's like, "All right." So I turned it up, and it was only on Facebook. And the people in the Facebook group was like super emotional, and it was bothered, and the women was super bothered by the things that I was saying and the reel that I was kicking. And so, I did like one more, and then I was like, "All right, cool, let's rock out." And he was like, "Oh no, we partners. You know what I'm saying? We gotta rock this out. This is a good thing. Like we got something here." And so I'm like, "All right." So we did a few more Facebook things, and then we just made it official, like, yo, we gonna be partners in this thing, we gonna rock out. And then that's when I started kind of taking over, and I'm like, hey, we need to get off of Facebook and start going more towards YouTube. And and then Kevin Samuels brought in the Kevin Samuels things, and we put it together, and it went through its transition. Some people came, some people left, or whatever like that, but through it all, it was really just me and him rocking out and putting that together. And, I was never going to not continue to do what I was doing because I was already had traction. I was leveraging my platform in order to bring more visibility on YouTube to what we was doing on Lapeef Let's Talk. And, it just kind of went from there. So it was really organic. It wasn't anything that we planned on. It was something that just kind of made itself manifest based off of the results that we was getting, and we was continuing to turn it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word out. I think you guys should collab together and make a channel donating some of y'all wisdom, man, because y'all got some good information that could help out the young youth from where I'm from. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody from Patterson, Newark, man. We in the building, you heard?
Yeah, I got you. So you from Patterson?
Nah, I'm from Boston, but I reside in New Jersey right now. Know what I mean?
Okay, I feel you. I got you.
Word out.
Yeah.
Now, my next question for you is, man, yo, what are your whole thoughts on Remy Ma and Papoose, man? Like, what's your feelings on her stepping out on Papoose?
Well, if she did step out, I think that's just the nature of women. Honestly,
you want to be politically correct?
No. Right. It's the nature of women. Like, I think for most women, especially when you pedestalize them, and the problem from the outside looking in, because none of us really have any real insight into what was going on inside of their home. So the only thing that we can do is speculate. If she cheated, the problem is that he pedestalized her, right? He married her when she was in jail. He was, he was placing her as his end all be all. He was willing to lose money for her and all of this other type of stuff. And I keep telling guys all the time, like, your purpose is your purpose and her purpose is you. But when he made his purpose her, it changed the dynamics of it. And it's the same thing that guys have been experiencing, whether you a regular guy or whether you a rapper or whether you got some visibility. You keep giving her all of the power. She's not even going to deny the fact that it's a possibility that she cheated on you. So right. I don't think that he deserved it, but I think that it was obvious that it was going to come, because if you pedestalizing her, she don't have the wherewithal in order to really be the woman that she's supposed to be, because she's not following your lead, you following her lead. Yeah. So it was inevitable.
Yeah, man.
It didn't even have to be. And this is the thing about women. Let me be real. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. The interesting thing about it is that when she cheat or when they cheat, it ain't even with a dude that's dope. Most of the time, women cheat down. She cheated down. What a battle rapper. Come on, man. You know what
and rumor is like he's working for them. I mean,
this should be a wake-up call for him. I don't think he should look at it as a bad thing. I think that he should he should
move on.
Yeah, he should use it and understand that, oh, okay, she might have been with me for that amount of time, but if she did cheat, then she wasn't mine. She was just all of ours. It was just my turn.
Word out. Yo, let me shout out the super chat real quick. Yo, shout out to J Dub, bag
Shout out to
chasers,
J
man.
Dub.
Yo, salute, man. Yeah, I mean, I
Shout out
see you
to the
got your members
Chasers.
coming through here, man.
Shout out to the
bag
shout out to
chasers
the
in the
Chasers.
building.
My
Yeah, we out
people.
here
I love
listening
my
to the
people, and they
food,
love
yeah?
me back. They love me
Word
back.
up, word up. All right, yo, my next question for you is do you think this social construct that we have allow women to be unruly towards men? Talk to me, man.
I think that women have always been unruly to men since the beginning of time. It's just that men had better tools to be able to deal with it. Once you gave them more power, you just got an opportunity to see who they truly were on the inside. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And what guys don't understand is that it doesn't matter how much they can do. The only thing that you should be concerned with is who it is that you keep in your circle. So none of the chicks that's around me ever gonna be unruly. I dare you to get unruly around me. You know better than that. You know, if you can't get your chick to look, man, you ain't even got to say something if she getting out of control. Because sometimes, let me add a little bit more context to that. Because sometimes they're unruly just because they need to get buzzed down. Let's just be for real, right? Sometimes they looking for somebody to tame them and to reel them in and to grab them up or whatever, so on and so forth. And I could sense that, right? I'm paying attention to that because I'm intimately connected with you. But then other times they're unruly just because they just unruly. They just straight up acting like a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta tame them. You gotta kind of reel them in a little bit, and you gotta help them to understand. And the minute that they disrespect you, you gotta literally cut them off. You have to cut them off.
Yeah,
And if you don't cut them off, then all you do is you continue to enable bad behavior. And the way that you start off, if she feel comfortable disrespecting you, she gonna continue to push the boundary in the envelope. Then y'all be getting hands put on y'all and all of that. I will never ever subject myself to that. And so if she don't understand the hierarchy that's in it and the responsibility that come along with it, how many women you know hit their boss? And the reason that they don't hit their boss is because they understand it's a consequence that come along with it.
Right.
Women will put more respect on the name of a man that's not even in their household because they understand it's a consequence that come along with it. So when you establish those boundaries, regardless of if it's in your household or for the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, they have to understand and they know who they can get away with it with. And that's why she feel comfortable coming home and disrespecting you. But she gonna give all of the respect, the cadence, the praise, the accolades, and she gonna say yes, sir, no, sir, to her boss. And it's because she understands this is consequences that come along with it. And so it has nothing to do with being emasculated. It has nothing to do with hierarchy, patriarchy, matriarchy. Women know who they can get away with it with, and they do. And it's always going to be a simp, and it's always going to be the dude that they'll take advantage of. But inherently, I think a woman's nature is to look to be submissive, which is one of the reasons why when the right one come, she going to shut up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. Yo, let me shout out this another super chat over here. Abba's child, man. Yo, I appreciate the super chat, man. Much love, man. You know what I mean?
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Chasers.
Word out. Now, I want to get your opinion on simp culture, man. Do you feel like simp culture perpetuate women's delusion and bad behavior amongst us, man? Talk to me,
I don't
man.
think it's delusion because it's not delusion if it's real, right? The real part is it's always going to be a sucker that's willing to be a step baby daddy. It's always going to be a sucker, and a lot of them.
Hold on. You know, I'm real big on staying sucker free, man. Staying sucker free is the campaign, man. I totally feel you on that, man. Like, there's a lot of suckers out here saving these chicks out here. You heard?
Yeah, it's always going to be a guy that's willing to be a step baby daddy, and he think. Let me tell you something, bro. I see guys that know that they would never ever be able to have a chance or get in the room with some of these chicks that they see online, and they'll give them thousands of dollars without that woman ever even adding any sort of value to them whatsoever. I've seen dudes pay an egregious amount of money even to spend a night with a chick and don't even get no box as a result of it. I see guys listing in a woman's phone and they'll show me inside of the studio when I'm coming in or I'm interviewing them or we doing the show or we just setting the vibe. And they be showing me and the guy be calling and literally they'll label him a specific restaurant, put his name in their phone as a restaurant. don't even got the respect to call him a name. It's always going to be a step baby daddy, a guy that's willing to pick up the pieces. It's always going to be a guy that's willing to emasculate himself in order to just get the box. And the women understand that they have this limited amount of power, which is very powerful, and it's in what's in between their legs. And as long as you have a culture in the same way that we slot women, it's a difference between a good girl, a wife, a hoe, chick for the streets or whatever. It's the same way when it comes to men. It's always going to be that strong guy, that real one. It's going to be a husband. It's going to be and husbands can be simps too, but it's always going to be a category that we have to slot people in. And there's always going to be a simp, which is one of the reasons why it's so difficult that men as a collective, not as an individual, but men as a collective cannot really make the progress that they're supposed to make, because it's always going to be a step baby daddy that's going to come up and pick up the pieces, and the women know that. So it's not really delusion, it's reality. Unfortunately, what the women don't understand, though, is that when they get with that type of guy, because they don't really want him, but they settle for him, that's not even in their nature to want to be under that and submit to that. And they outside of their purpose, which is one of the reasons why they'll never really be happy. They'll never really be fulfilled. They'll never really get to the spaces that they're supposed to get to, because it's a perception of truth. It's a perception of happiness, but it's not really what your core purpose is. It's like a lion trying to be a monkey. You're not a monkey. You know what I'm saying? It's like a monkey trying to be an elephant. Yeah, y'all both walk, y'all both in the jungle, but you can't be him because you're not him. So, I mean, the women that truly live in a purpose and the ones that really get the most out of life and really is, doing things according to how God ordained us to be, are the ones that's going to be the most fulfilled. And that's the ones that's really operating outside of this simp culture, subjecting themselves to it.
Word up. Now, do you think the whole red pill movement, MGTOW movement, give out good information for men to stay sucker free?
It depends. It's okay. So I equate red pill, or let's even say just the manosphere in general, right? Because I don't really slot myself. I leave that for everybody else to say whatever it is that you are, right? But let's take it for example. I look at it like similarly to how we look at any organization. You can look at a fraternity, a sorority, you can look at the church, right? And people, for example, they will demonize. I remember around the September 11th attacks, they was demonizing Muslims, right? And anybody that even professed themselves to be that, or was of a certain look, or represented themselves a certain way, or they wore hijab at that particular time, they were demonizing. People didn't even want to get on a plane with them, as though you didn't have to go through TSA, right? And it's the same thing when it came to Christianity, right? A lot of people say, well, I don't go to church because Christians is fake. Well, that's not necessarily true. The word is the word, and the word is always going to be the word, and the word is truth, and there's nothing wrong with the word, but it's the people that profess themselves to represent something that then, devalue it in the eyes of other people. And it's the same thing when it comes to red pill. All red pill is truth. It allows for you to reveal or to remove the veil from your eyes so you can see the true nature of what things are. And it's not just as it pertains to women, it's as it pertains to money, it's as it pertains to women, it's as it pertains to children, it's as it pertains to the family court laws, politics, so on and so forth, right? And so red pill is just reality. That's it. Now you're going to have some bad actors, similar to how you have in a church, similar to how you have in society, that then take it, stand on it, and then try to act like that's the thing by which they by which they're building their core off of, but it doesn't make it truth, right? So I think that the red pill movement, or red pill in general, is good, but obviously in every single thing that you do, women, there's good women, but if the overwhelming majority of them showcase themselves to be for the streets, then they're going to paint a bad light on women in general, right? Because you speak to the majority and not the minority. So I think that red pill is just truth. That's it. It's just truth. And then you have to mine out the individuals that you then subject yourself to, because they label themselves as red pill, don't mean that they're giving you the right information that's actually going to help you become a better person or be the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because a lot of, well, I'm not going to say a lot of them, a few of them out here promoting not to date baby mothers, but they out here wifing up baby mothers.
Exactly. Which is one of the reasons why I live that's why I live my life like an open book. So you can see who real.
Word up. Now, my next question for you is, do you believe in a higher power? And if so, who do you subscribe to?
Oh, I'm a Christian all through and through. I mean, for the sake of conversation, we could just keep it really baseline and say Christian. I was raised in a Pentecostal church. Um, it was different then. We praise God, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Set aside, speaking in other tongues as the Spirit of God give utterance. Like I really live this life. You know what I'm saying? So it's different for me. I study my Bible every single day. Um, I subscribe to the idea that I believe in Jesus Christ, and
Right.
then I'm really about this life. So it's
Word
different for me.
up. Now, for some heads out there might not know what the domination of Pentecostal is, but pretty much they go by the doctrine of the Book of Acts. You know what I mean? That whole
No, we believe in the whole Bible.
yeah.
Acts,
But you guys
Acts
don't
was
go based
the
on
Acts was
invoking
the
the
Acts is
divine
the
spirit.
and I
Yeah.
know all of the books like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts of the Apostles, Epistle to the Romans.
Right.
You can also go into Acts where they cast lots, and then even specifically, that was when they first really started going into the idea of the Holy Spirit after Jesus was crucified, and then they cast lots, as a result of Judas and everything like that. And he even denied his mother. And then he said that these are my friends, right? These are the people that I'm going to be going forth with. And then even one of my favorite people in the Bible goes into the New Testament, Paul. That's my favorite person outside of Jesus in the Bible. But we believe in the whole Bible. I believe that, the Old Testament, obviously everything was a little bit more literal. The New Testament opened it up for everybody, for the Jew and the Gentile alike, to be able to be saved. And then it went into even the Galatians, you know what I'm saying, where Paul was writing letters over to the Galatians to, highlight how the seed of Abraham, and I know you probably don't want to get into the spiritual stuff too much, but even the seed of Abraham, the manifestation of the God of the covenant that God made with Abraham, that his seed would number the earth, was as a result of Jesus dying for our sins and opening it up for the Jew and Gentile alike, because we are all now seeds of Abraham, right? So, the whole idea of Christianity in the Bible is something to be lived. And I think that you should be able to see it on the person and not necessarily just based off of how somebody identify. We don't even respect how people identify when it comes to their gender now, right? Because anybody could say that they are a woman now or a man now, but it doesn't mean that that's who you are. So I don't know why we then give credence to people that just say that they're Christian, or they say that they're Muslim, or they say that they this, or they say that they that, but they're not necessarily a reflection of it, because who you are at your core should be able to be shown. Your light should be able to be shown without you even having to say nothing, because communication is 90% body language, 10% of what it is that you say. So what you say should just be the cherry on top, right? So I guess to answer your question, yes, I do subscribe to a higher power, but I am a higher power because I got the Holy Ghost and I got the Spirit of God within me.
Word up. I like that answer. Now, yo, my next question for you is, right, yo, what advice would you give to the youth um to seek like a suitable helpmate? Like, what advice would you give to the youth on that?
Stop focusing on women. Stop focusing on trying to find a suitable helpmate. See, here's the thing. It's about being equally yoked, right? And equally yoked, that's a deeper conversation. So I'm not going to deep dive into that too much. But let me say this. I tell people to stop dating. Stop dating. Because when you date, all you're doing is trying to take out somebody's representative in order to deflower them and get them to the point to where you can see who they truly are. You never will be, because everybody is putting on their best. They putting their best foot forward. I think that people should just be networking effectively. I think that people should be spending time around people that they truly value without any kind of intention. And that's how you're able to see who somebody authentically is. In most instances, when you marry the people that's closest to you, your best friend, the people that's a part of your network, you've been able to vet them effectively already, right? You've been able to see how they operate and what they do for a living and how they respond to negative feedback or pushback, or how they treat their parents, or how they treat their network, or what they spend the majority of their time on, and what their priorities are, and so on and so forth, right? And so when you get to authentically hang around people without any kind of intention, you get to see authentically who they are. And so I don't think that people should be focusing on dating or finding a mate. I think that people should be focusing on becoming the best version of themselves, and then spending time around the people that you actually value the most, and then you attract who you are. And that's what truly being equally yoked is. And so if people will remove themselves and have a level of dick discipline and women close their legs, they would actually be able to get with the person that they're supposed to be with, and they wouldn't have as many problems as they have in today.
Oh, incredible answer. Yeah, that's good advice, man. My next question for you is like, yo, what's your next business venture? And would you start up an LLC to get a loan from like fintech to get into like the whole tech world or whatever? Like, is that something you think you'll consider doing sometime in the future?
I own a web development company and we generate a lot of revenue. I've given a lot of game inside of my Patreon on how it is that we use and leverage that. But we develop applications even to this day. Right now, the application that we focus on the most on is a bankroll management application specifically for people that gamble. So, for example, if you're a poker player and you go on to the App Store, whether you're going to Android or you're going to Apple, they have these trash applications. And one of the things that people have to understand in business, whether you're going into development, fintech, whatever it is that you're going into, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Often at times there's things that you're naturally suited to, or you have a keen understanding of in order to create a better experience for people. And you just got to figure out how to put it together and market it, right? So we create applications, and the main application that we focusing on, and I don't want to say the name of it yet, but it's a bankroll management application that basically allows for you to be able to more effectively sync what it is that you're doing for accounts that you have specifically allocated for that in order to manage a bankroll more effectively. And then we'll expand it over into, other games and stuff like that. But it's specifically tied to poker players for the first iteration of it when we launch it. And then we're going to go from there. To speak to your other question about the things that I'm getting into or the things that I'm focusing on, the main thing that we focusing on right now, and the thing that I really just got into, is building houses. I've always been into real estate. I own several different single family homes, and then eventually I'll go into commercial real estate, but I don't know enough about it. But right now, since the beginning of this year, we've been building houses, and we're in a process of building 4 different properties all at the same time in different phases. And we'll have the first property done within the next 3 months. But more importantly, with regard to that, it's just another form of getting into the real estate game. And then we don't have any financing. So I don't have any mortgages. I don't have any bank loans. I don't have anything that's financing me. Nobody owns me. I own 100% of myself. And we putting up our own money to do it. So we don't have any hard money loans, none of that. So 100% of what we doing, we building it ourselves. We also building it in our own cities and our own communities that we was raised in, because we want to have a vested interest in what goes on here. I'm tired of people saying that they represent this city or this is their hood and they don't own nothing in it. So we just going to continue to plow forward and put all of our money where our mouth is and put it in our community and hire the people that we want to build this stuff for us.
Man, incredible answer. My next question for you is like, if you were to speak to a group of kids, right, and you will want them to be successful, what advice would you give them if they come from poverty to make that transition to get into either corporate America or in college, and how important it is to have self-discipline in those 2 different environments?
I wouldn't have any different of a message from a kid that come from poverty than I would for a kid that didn't come from poverty. And the message would be the same. A, don't focus on hoes. B, get rid of the friend group that you may have, because they may not be adding value into your life. And where you going is not necessarily a reflection of where you at. C, have dick discipline and don't have no kids out of wedlock, and don't be wifing these hoes and put a rubber on. E, or D, go to community college, do your first 2 years there in order to save money, reduce the amount of money that you spend in debt, and then transfer over to a major university, because when you get your bachelor's degree, it's going to say the same thing as the person that went there for 4 years. And then last but not least, I would tell them, stop worrying about getting money and focus on setting a foundation, because if you do what you're supposed to do for the first 10 years of your life, you'll be able to spend the rest of your life how you want to. And then I would also tell them that most rappers and entertainers is broke. So stop idolizing these people thinking that this is what you want to be for the rest of your life, because I got more money than most of them. And you don't have to be a basketball player or an entertainer or a rapper or a singer in order to really be able to get to the bag. I would just give them the core principles of what it takes to be successful. But more importantly, I don't even think that that's the information that's important. I would give them that, but the most important thing that they need to be focused on is changing their mindset. They need to divest themselves from our cultural norms. The culture is trash. The things that we celebrate the most, the things that we think is dope, the things that we highlight, the people that you follow on Instagram, the things that you get involved in, the fact that you spend more time on Instagram than you do in the library is crazy to me. So I would be more focused on changing their cultural norms than I would giving them advice on how to be successful. Because even if you get money and you don't have character, money just makes you more of what you already are. So I think that the character is the thing that keeps you when you become successful. And the money is just a tool. You will always be able to get money. Even the word says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. You don't have to pray for money. The only thing you have to do is be a good steward and focused on being the best version of yourself, which also includes character. And then you need to have that foundation and the people around you to continue to push you towards the places that you're supposed to be in. Get a mentor, change your mentality, spend the majority of your time in the library instead of out here in these streets, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned. That they should get a mentor, because it's real important to have a mentor, man, to use his wisdom and guidance to finagle the bagel with all your finances and all that. I mean, and wonderful answer, incredible answer, man. I think
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I think word up. I think whoever from Patterson or Newark is listening to this, man, it'll help them out, man. You know what I mean? And I'm real big on the youth, man, because they are our future. You heard?
Yeah.
My next question is, yo, I know you be getting to the chicken like crazy. You got endorsed by these people that sell like shaving creams or products and stuff like that. Yo, if you could get another endorsement deal from another company, which company would it be, man? And tell me why. Talk to me, man.
Anything that I do, it has to be tied into what it is that I already will do, right? I will never pitch something to somebody unless I actually really believe in it and I really embrace it, because it's not authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in just doing stuff for money, and I would never pitch something to my people, because that's basically what they're doing. They tapping into your audience. They asking for your people to then support their brand. And so in order to do that, I have to actually believe that this is a brand or something that I actually use. So it would have to be something that's tied to my lifestyle, right? Whether it's a banking app, whether it's a traveling hotel chain, whether it's a specific airline, it has to be something that's tied into my life. I get emails literally every single day, chair companies and all kind of stuff, right? But if it's the reason I'm very careful and I'm selective is because my people really do embrace and support what it is that I do. The bag that I get from Teach Hanley is crazy. It's way crazier than what everybody else is getting. That's a fact, though, because my people are fierce and I have a core audience of people that really believe in what it is that we're doing. The amount of Patreon members and the amount of bag chasers that we got, thousands, literally thousands. When we go to a city, we show up and we sell it out. And so it's different for here, right? So I always got to make sure that the core of who it is that I am is always based off an authenticity. And I don't have a specific brand or something that I would want to roll with. They would just have to fit what it is that we're doing. And I would actually look to add value into their brand in the same way that they're looking to add value in what we're doing over here in the Bag Chasers.
Word out. Now I'm hoping that somebody from Patterson and Newark see you and they get inspired to get to that chicken, man. Now I ain't pocket watching you, man, but yo, I know you sitting on a few M's, man. You know what I mean? This dude right here is official, man. You know what I mean? And let me shout out to Portia for the $5 cash app, and shout out to Sophisticated Jerk for the $10 super chat, man. I appreciate that, man. Salute, man. Trying to get to the chicken like Mr. Daniels over here. Right?
You'll be better you're gonna be better than me, man. I'm sure of it. I'm positive.
Nah, man. I don't know, man. Your boss kind of hard to reach, man. You know what I mean? But
if I could do it and I'm a lifetime C student, I know for a fact you could do it.
Man, you modest, man. I respect that.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious, bro. It's nothing that makes me any more unique than anybody else except for the fact that I'm disciplined and I'm willing to endure long enough to get to the results. That's it, bro. Like, I'm very disciplined about the fact that I'm not going to change until I actually get there. I'm willing to fail forward and I'm willing to endure long enough to get to the results. Most people give up. Most people stop. Most people, they don't have the confidence in themselves. And it's not that I'm any better than everybody else. I got a core set of principles that I live by. That's very simple. I'm always looking to grow. I'm always looking to add value into people. I'm gonna be authentic and I'm gonna do it long enough to actually get there. That's it, literally. And so I think that all of us have talents, and there's different things. I know for a fact there are things that you are better than I am, like that you're better in than I am. Some of us have some core things that's just greater about us. Some of us have some talents that's better about it. Very few people actually nurture those things. I do, and so that's the key to my success, is that I'm truly believing in myself based off of what God has given me. I'm very thankful for it, and I'm steadfast in what it is that I'm gonna do. And so I'm gonna see it through all the way through. And I know for a fact you're probably 10 times more talented than I am. And so all you got to do is leverage that and see it through. And I'm pretty sure that you will even be a lot further ahead than I am in 10 years.
Man, I appreciate the words of encouragement, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to get to the chicken, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's get to it. We can talk about it.
Word up. Yo, my next question, right? For you is, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? Do you think Bitcoin is a money pit? And if so, give me a breakdown on why.
I'm not gonna say Bitcoin specifically. I think that cryptocurrency is still really a new technology that, in order for something to really be successful, it has to have widespread adoption. Also, on top of that, it has to have some form of regulation because people have to have the faith in it. Even when you're talking about fiat currency, which is the American dollar, right? When you talk about fiat currency, the original belief in it that got us to even adopt it was it's backed by precious metals, gold, whatever, Federal Reserve, the American government, so on and so forth. Now our belief in it is not even backed by that, but it's backed by the fact that we just trust in it, which they've printed more, which devalued it. It's not even worth the paper that it's printed on, but our belief in it and the world's belief in it is what gives it its value, right? And so there has to be some core things that gives it some stability, because as long as you continue to have a lot of these collapses and frauds and all of this other type of stuff, people's belief in it will continue to wane, and then you'll have these huge swings of valuation because people don't truly understand it. Because people don't understand cryptocurrency, because they don't understand blockchain technology, because they don't understand Ethereum, because they don't understand Bitcoin and so on and so forth, it's very hard to get widespread adoption for it. And so because I can't endorse it yet until I truly understand how it's going to impact us long term. And then also you got to take into consideration a lot of these governments and these stable coins and them getting you to push through to actually become more digital and so on and so forth. It's still a very volatile market. So anything that's that volatile, I don't necessarily advise people to get into it, because there's other stable investments that allow for you to continue to beat the rate of inflation and still become more wealthy. So I don't embrace it. I'm not a part of it, but I understand it enough to be able to make some informed decisions as it relates to it.
Word up. I agree with you. I think the whole that whole digital, well, not digital currency, but the whole Bitcoin thing movement with all the coins. I think that technology is still ahead of the game. Like it's so ahead of its time that it's not getting its full value yet. I mean, so I
Well,
do.
we're gonna find out. Time tells all.
Yeah. In due time we'll find out. You know what I mean? This be my last question, because I know you're a busy man. I don't want to hold you up, but do you think most people in society have divested from religion, and have we lost our moral compass? Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I think that most people, even people that say that they are part of religion, is not really a part of religion. I think of it like the same way that people vote. Most people have more conservative values. They believe in a separation of church and state. They believe in smaller government. Most black people inherently have been, always have been, was raised to be, and is more aligned with Republican values, for example. But they vote Democrat because it's a marketing tool, and it's the thing that their parents did, right? A lot of kids, conversely, right, or a lot of people say that they're Catholic because they went to Catholic school, or their parents was Catholic, right, or they're Christian, or they're Muslim, or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And very few people even read the Bible. They'll read all of these school books, they'll read math books, they'll study all of the stuff that they give them throughout their life, but they have no true understanding of where your laws come from. A lot of the laws, the overwhelming majority of the core principles of what it is that we stand on here in the United States of America was established by the church.
Well, it
was established by the church.
Most laws derive from this king from like the Middle East back, and I forgot his name, but a lot of, like, he came up with like the first laws and all that. And
but why do they come up with laws? That's the thing that you should ask yourself.
Because sometimes, man, people, if they're not told to not cross a certain line, they're gonna cross it.
Okay, laws come from, in any environment, whether you're talking about the United States of America, historically, back then, now, laws come from an inability to be able to do the right thing, whatever that looks like, right? Or the second way it comes from, the second place it comes from is from opportunity, right? So I'll give you an example. It's a very simple example. I'm a C student, so you got to bear with me. My daughter, for example, does not have any rules. She has no rules, and it sounds crazy to most people, but she has no rules. You know when she get rules? When she can't do the thing that's in her own best interest. So, for example, she don't have a bedtime. She's 15 years old. She never had a bedtime. But if she wasn't able to get up for school in the morning, or if she was falling asleep at school all day, now, okay, I see you can't handle freedom. Let me give you a bedtime, right? So now her new bedtime is the law in my household, in which TV off, whatever, Apple got this new thing where they're doing all of this stuff, TV off, so on and so forth, or whatever. And now you have to be governed differently because I see that this is affecting you in a negative way. It's the same thing when it comes to society. All of the new legislation, all of the new laws, even things that bind or control financial organizations, the fact that we're now getting government bodies and entities overseeing what's going on with cryptocurrency came as a result of all of the fraud and the stuff that was happening and people losing their money. And then they advocate for it and they say, listen, we need some kind of stability into this because this person just ran off with our money. When it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to you driving down the street, when they change things, how fast you can go on a particular street, those laws that's established come from the different accidents and people killing themselves or new technology starting to be invented as far as cars. Now you see in infrastructure updates as it relates to artificial intelligence. The government often at times is very, very behind in what it is that the technology that's being developed. And so they have to retroactively instate laws based off of how people are using the technology. When you're talking about artificial intelligence, you're talking about a lot of people now doing where you can basically imitate somebody else's voice and their likeness on the internet without it actually being them. They're starting to address that, right? They're trying to get these companies, which the companies are still lobbying the federal government in order to continue to push artificial intelligence because they don't want to slow down in this arms race of it. But the laws that's established as it relates to that is basically retroactive. So when you're talking about laws and religion and the things that's being established, it's often at times retroactive, but you're still governed by it, whether you believe in it or not. And it evolves over time. Slavery wasn't wrong at one point in this country. But as we evolved and as we changed and as we learn more or as more people advocated against it or for it, it evolved. And then they changed the laws in order to reflect what it is that society is going towards today. It's the same thing in everything. And so what you see happening, again, whether you're talking about this society in today's current time, a different country at a different time, laws and standards are enacted by an inability for people to be able to govern themselves. It's as simple as that.
Word, damn. Man's of wisdom right here, man. Dropping crazy jewels right now, man. Hey, man. I appreciate
and all of this is just it don't mean that I'm right. I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong. But I doubt it. But I'm always open to the possibility that I'm wrong. This is just my opinion. Not necessarily means anything.
Word up, word up. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take some
absolutely,
of these jewels, man, and implement it into my lifestyle, you heard?
Yeah. Listen, anytime you need me, anytime you want to hit me up, I tell people all the time I'm accessible, and they don't believe that they could just get in touch with me and Anton go, man, listen, you anytime you need me, big dog, let me know. You know how to get in touch with me, man.
Word up, man. Hey, yo, this interview is officially over, y'all. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard?
Yeah.
We out.
We out. Peace, dog.
Word out.